This is the story of how I spent the last 3 years trying to be able to make Fortnite content on mobile devices, and how at the end of the day, I was actually successful, and then I'm here to tell you, we're finally back. Now, this video is most likely going to be a long one, as there's a lot of details, some that I've never publicly discussed, a lot of context that I need to explain as to what happened to Fortnite Mobile, what happened to the Fortnite Mobile community, and why all of a sudden I'm returning to post content on it, and again, what this could mean for the larger Fortnite Mobile community and Fortnite audience as a whole. And if you guys have been following me or Fortnite Mobile for any length of time, then you're probably very familiar with the Epic Games versus Apple lawsuit that started all the way back in 2020. This is the single instance that started the entire dissolution and slow demise of the Fortnite Mobile community over the last 3 years. I have made probably 20, 25, or even 30 videos covering this lawsuit in depth over the last 3 years. So this is not going to be a video going over the lawsuit, but more the effects of the lawsuit, the aftermath of the lawsuit, and how it affected the millions of players and hundreds of creators that were actively making content on the game, and where everything stands today. Now, I feel like it's pretty important I give the context that during the year 2020, mobile creators that played shooter games like myself, that you need great device performance, low input delay, and ease of use in terms of capturing your content. We either played on an iPhone, an iPad, or an Android phone. Android tablets were really never in the mix, and that's going to be important for later. But originally, when the news came out that Tim Sweeney was standing up to the titans, that is the Apple CEOs and the Apple ecosystem, and trying to claw back the 30% of revenue that they take when you spend money in apps, I wasn't too concerned, because I was like, oh, dude, it's Tim Sweeney. This guy's a genius. He made Fortnite. He's the CEO of Epic Games. He knows what he's doing. Fortnite Mobile is going to be back in the App Store in less than a year. It's going to be a weird time. I'm going to have to, switch up my content a bit, but don't worry, by 2021, when the lawsuit is wrapped up, we'll be back on the game in no time. But that didn't really happen, as you guys know. I think it was like March or May of 2021, we came to find out that the judge didn't side with Epic Games, and they actually sided with Apple on like 9 out of 10 points. And so that meant Fortnite Mobile was going to remain banned on iOS, and that the millions of players that were stranded in 2020 during the original ban and removal of Fortnite from the iOS App Store and the Google Play stores were going to remain stranded, and Epic Games just really wasn't going to do much about it. And this is where someone like myself, someone who spent the last 3 years of their life dedicating themselves and their content to Fortnite Mobile and to mobile gaming, and specifically to promoting the Fortnite Mobile community on a global scale, I was just kind of lost, because it was very apparent that Epic Games wasn't going to be reinstating Fortnite Mobile on the App Store anytime soon. And additionally, most of the support that the mobile community used to receive when the game was available on iOS and Android had quickly withered up, and it was apparent that Epic Games was just kind of forgetting about the mobile player base. But this is when my very important quest to be able to create content on Android devices started. I mentioned before that the only devices previously people used to make content on were iPads, iPhones, and Android gaming phones, and this is for one very, very important reason, and something I've spent a lot of time trying to explain to viewers as well as people within the industry of why playing Fortnite Mobile on an Android tablet is just so difficult. Now, back in 2020, the iPad Pro 2018 was the absolute pinnacle for mobile gaming. It gave you the ability to play mobile games at 120 FPS, something at the time consoles couldn't even do. We had a literal better performance, better frames, a better input delay than gaming consoles, all on mobile devices. Additionally, it was super easy to capture content. All you had to do was plug in a USB-C adapter into your iPad, connect it to an Elgato, and you were up streaming or recording content in no time. Now, this is where things take a drastic turn, because when it comes to Android gaming and Android tablets in specific, the really only producers of tablets is Samsung. So as a creator, there's not like I can really shop around to a bunch of different tablet providers, see which one fits me the best, and see which one runs Fortnite the best. There's really only Samsung. And I think at the time of the ban, the Samsung Tab S7 was the newest tablet, and it was one of the first Android tablets to feature 120 hertz refresh rate, which means in theory, you could go right back to creating content on a tablet very similar in performance to the iPad Pro. But this is where things took a turn for the worse. I'm not sure what it was, what it is, but Fortnite Mobile has just never run well on Android devices. If you're someone who's ever played Fortnite Mobile on an iOS device and then compare that to an Android device, you know what I'm talking about. There's input delay, there's stutters, there's frame lags. If you just compare the frame counters side by side, Fortnite Mobile iOS used to get a rock solid 120 FPS on low graphics. This is my Samsung Tab S9, the latest and greatest $1,000 tablet out there, that even then during Fortnite matches, still managed to get around 100 FPS, but as you can see, the frame rate varies immensely. Even within just a few seconds of gameplay, it can dip from 70, go up to 140. So this is really where the first hurdle was for creating content on Fortnite Mobile, and still lies today, but I'll address that later in the video. But that's not even the biggest issue, as what I'm about to explain is the entire reason that for the last 3 years, I was not able to create content on Fortnite Mobile on an Android device, or really an Android tablet, and it all has to deal with actually capturing the content. Because for quite a long time, Fortnite Mobile players in the community found a lot of workarounds, found a lot of methods to actually optimize the tablet so you could get a pretty consistent 90 or 120 FPS on those Tab S7s and Tab S8s over the last few years. So getting the game to run decently well was never the problem. It was, for me as a content creator, getting the content to my PC or to an editing software or streaming software without it being a nightmare. And that is exactly what it was. For some reason, and it's really hard to explain, this is the best way I can showcase it. When you plug in that USB-C adapter that you used to use on an iPad, you'd plug in on an iPad, everything stays the same. When you plug it in on an Android device, for some reason, all Android devices, or most of them, when you plug it in, it then limits the refresh rate. It used to limit it to 24 FPS, but recently with some new capture cards, you plug it in and it limits it to 60 FPS and 60 hertz refresh rate. So I have just gone from playing on a 120 hertz iPad, 120 FPS, to then plugging in my iPad to get the gameplay and the footage to my computer so that I can record and then so that I can stream, and it just halves the performance. And if you guys have ever gone from playing on a 120 or 144 hertz monitor all the way back down to 60, you know how bad it feels. But that wasn't even the worst part. It was that paired with the already bad performance, and you're going to put in input delay, and you're going to put in a frame limit cap. It was basically taking like a PS5 level gaming experience and playing on a PS2. That's what I've always said, and I stand by that, that the iPad Pro 2018 versus the Tab S7 with 60 FPS is like going from an RTX 4090 to like an RTX, like, I don't know, from 2010. It was just the most night and day difference, and I just could not create good content. I literally couldn't get a win. For the longest time, I didn't post content because I couldn't win. I would sit down for 4, 5, 6 hours, play pubs, play ranked. I couldn't win a match. And this is someone who I could probably win once every, hour or so. I went from winning once an hour to not being able to win once in 10 hours of gameplay. So that was the biggest thing, is switching to Android devices, being forced by Epic Games to switch to Android devices. It virtually forced my hand to try to make content on devices that I just wasn't good at, wasn't good with. I couldn't make good quality content. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, why don't you just screen record if you can't connect it to your tablet? You can still upload the footage to your computer. You can still record videos. You might not be able to stream, but that's okay. I wish it was that simple, but Android and screen recording also don't mix well together, because when you screen record and then uses up CPU power and makes your device overheat faster, which then limits the performance of Fortnite Mobile and makes it run harder, overheat the CPU faster. It's just a chain of events of when you screen record, your device runs significantly worse than if you weren't screen recording. So instead of getting 90 or 120 FPS, you're getting like 60 or 70. And I haven't even mentioned how this affected the pros, because if you remember back in the day, the Fortnite Mobile Cash Cups, if you looked at the leaderboard, like 95 or 99% of them were all iPad or iPhone players. Android competitive players just didn't exist because their performance wasn't there. So not only did this heavily impact creators and their ability to create content and stream, it also pretty much wiped out any of the competitive scene that used to be there for Fortnite Mobile, and pretty much forced all of them to buy Android tablets or buy Android devices if they still wanted to have a chance to compete. And so this is where I started spending hundreds of hours, thousands of dollars trying to buy new devices, buy new tablets. I was buying devices from China that came shipped with Chinese text and no English translations because I was that down bad. I had been put in this crazy situation of being able to have built this amazing community, this amazing fan base, that if you guys are still with me here today, I appreciate you guys. And then it just was ripped away in, the snap of a finger from the CEO of Epic Games. And I was doing my best to retain what I had built and to create content for you guys, but I physically couldn't. And I'd said this and I've tweeted this. Some tweets are deleted, some tweets are still up there. At the end of the day, I just, over the last 2 years, realized it was better if I spent my time and my energy elsewhere. And that's why I'd been creating Minecraft content. More recently, I've started some other gaming channels that are doing pretty well. And so I genuinely thought I was about to move on from Fortnite Mobile until two pretty important things happened. The first one is the delay of Warzone Mobile. If you guys have been following the content on the channel, I've been pretty excited about this new game, Warzone Mobile. As you guys know, Fortnite Mobile is just just Fortnite from PC and console on a mobile device, and Warzone Mobile is the same thing. It's just Warzone on PC and console on mobile devices. And I grew up playing COD. I was super excited for this game. I've been making content on updates and news and all that stuff over the last few months. And then I went to COD Next, and they said the game is coming out in 6 months. But it just so happened at the same COD Next event, I had a creator, Noah Sunday, tell me that they had found a method that allowed them to play on Samsung devices at 120 Hertz, 120 FPS, capture the content flawlessly, and I knew I had to give it a try on Fortnite Mobile. So over the last few days, I've been spending hours working with members of the community. You guys know who you are. Thank you so much for helping me make this possible. I've been working with them, getting my tablet set up to the point where now I can actually play Fortnite Mobile, record it, stream it straight to my computer, just like I used to be able to do 3 years ago with an iPad Pro at 120 FPS with pretty good performance. I won't say this is as good as iPads. It's pretty crazy that a tablet that is 5 years newer than the old iPad Pros still can't play Fortnite Mobile just as well as it used to, but it's like an 8 out of 10. The gameplay you guys have actually been seeing all this video so far is from the Tab S9 and from streams I've been doing over the last few days, and these streams gave me the confidence that I think I can go back to content. I think after all these years of trying to find a way to be able to play Fortnite Mobile at a good enough quality performance to where I'm actually decent at the game and can make content for you, I think we finally figured it out. So not only is this great news for me, but it's great news for other creators out there who want to create content on Fortnite Mobile. Now, albeit the solution is kind of buy either a Tab S8 or a Tab S9 and use a particular workaround, which I will leave steps to down below in the description if you're interested on how to actually record content on Fortnite Mobile and on Android devices. It at least gives people the option. You need a capture card, you need a PC, and you also need a good, tablet that's like over $1,000. But hey, the option is there. And back in the day, people were already buying $1,000 iPads anyways to make content. So while the barrier to entry is pretty high now compared to where it used to be, the ability is there, and Fortnite Mobile content creators can return if they choose to. But I agree, it is pretty expensive. And so again, a lot of you may be asking why have you stuck with the game so long? Why are you still trying to make Fortnite Mobile content? Just let it go. Like this meme right here has been tweeted at me so many times. Just let it go, bro. Why are you hanging on? But for some reason, I just can't. Again, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that this channel only exists because of Fortnite Mobile. This channel and my career and the fact that I can play video games for a living only exists because Fortnite Mobile existed. I made content and you guys liked it enough to support me, subscribe, keep watching the videos, and let me do what I do day in and day out. And I just couldn't give that up. On top of the fact that the entire time Fortnite Mobile was still playable. If Fortnite Mobile was just Thanos snapped out of the universe and you couldn't play it on iOS or Android, then yeah, I would have moved on, I would have forgot about it, and this video wouldn't have existed. But the fact that the entire time of this ban, you've been able to go to Epic Games website and download Fortnite Mobile onto your Android device, there was always hope. There was always a little bit of hope and a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel that made me check in, try new things, buy new devices, test new methods, and then finally it worked. Now I know some of you guys are thinking, Ducky, why don't you just play cloud gaming Fortnite Mobile? You could have done that years ago. It sucks. Okay, I've made multiple videos. It's not good. The performance is still not there. Believe it or not, playing on this tab is way better than any cloud gaming service I've ever used. And so that's the how, that's the why. But what about the what does this mean for the channel? And what this also means for the Fortnite Mobile community. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, it's been years since I've consistently made Fortnite content. I've also slowly fallen out of the loop of the game. I used to always watch Fortnite streams, always watch Fortnite content, was super in tune with the meta and the lore and everything going on, but I'm just kind of out of it a little bit. So for the next month or so, I'm gonna be doing the best I can to intertwine myself back in with the game, relearn everything, try to get my skill back, because my aim is there, but my mechanics, they're still getting used to the tablet. And then we're just gonna be grinding. We're gonna be posting hopefully 3-4 times a week, hopefully streaming 2-3 times a week, as well as posting clips, posting shorts, and the road to the million is back. I genuinely believe that within the next 6 months before now and when Warzone Mobile comes out, that if I grind and I put my foot all the way down on the gas and do everything in my power, we can reach the 1 million sub mark. I've done everything in my power, posted different games, played Apex, played Warzone, done Fortnite Mobile, done this, but I think with one last valiant effort over the next 6 months, we can do it. Everyone who's stuck with me, everyone who's played Fortnite, everyone who's wanted the game to come back as much as I have, we can do this. Now, not only do these changes positively benefit me, it'll also have a side effect of positively benefiting the Fortnite Mobile community, because I think one of the main reasons that Epic Games just kind of ignored Fortnite Mobile and stopped caring about them is people weren't really talking about it or posting about it because we couldn't. We went from, getting combined the Fortnite Mobile community tens or hundreds of million views every single month to getting like a few million. So our total reach as a Fortnite Mobile audience just really shrunk, and that means our voices shrunk as a community, and so Epic Games really just kind of stopped listening and caring about us. So hopefully with the return of the ability to make content, post clips, post videos, compete in tournaments with these devices and with these new methods to create content, hopefully it'll have another side effect of giving Fortnite Mobile players a voice again, and maybe that'll translate into more updates or more events. I don't really know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. And so for anyone who's still watching this late in the video, you guys are a real one. You're homies, or you used to watch my content and you might consider watching it now that I'm starting back Fortnite Mobile. And for those of you watching, thank you again. Even though I've started other channels and I've done other things, Fortnite Mobile and mobile gaming is still what I'm the most passionate about and want to succeed the most of out of anything. And although this channel has taken multiple different forms over the last few years of experimenting with content and trying out different games, it feels good that I can finally go back to making content on the game that I've probably had the most fun of just throughout my life. And I might be a little rusty starting out, and the content might be a little bit different than it used to be, but honestly it kind of has to be. The Fortnite Mobile community has fallen so far from grace because of this situation that I really can't make the same content that I used to. I used to make a lot of update, a lot of news videos on the game, but there's just no news. There's just no Fortnite Mobile news. There's no Fortnite Mobile creators. There's like one or two. Shout out Percep, I know you're watching. But other than that, everyone's kind of up and left. And so things might look a little different than they used to, but honestly, I think that's good. I'm ready for a change of pace. I'm ready for a new chapter, ready for a new challenge, and I hope you guys will join me on it. So if you want to stay updated on all the Fortnite Mobile content I'm going to be releasing moving forward, then feel free to subscribe. Help me hit 1 million subs. I would greatly appreciate it. It's been a long road. It's been a long journey, but we're still chugging along. And if you guys want to watch the streams, I think I'm going to be streaming over on Twitch again. So feel free to drop a follow or turn on noties or whatever. But that is the story of how I've spent the last 3 years trying to make Fortnite content on mobile devices and how we are finally back.